Hello everyone, it's your boy Iridium. Today I bring you a complete build guide for Yunjin. Yunjin is not released on live servers yet, but she will be released on the 2.4 update, which releases tomorrow by the time this video has been uploaded. Now I will be going over everything and giving my best recommendations for her, whether you will be building her full support or somewhat DPS to dish out damage solely from using her E. Alright, so the first things first, we're going to be talking about weapons. I would like to start with 5 stars and move on to 4 stars and then 3 stars. And reason why 3 star, because for those who are just starting out on the game, who are very early, I do like to recommend a 3-star weapon for them, so that way they know which is best for the character. So the first pick, oh, one more thing I want to mention is that if you're building a support Yunjin, the thing you're going to mainly look for is energy recharge, and you're going to want a bit of crit as well. So the first weapon, which is in my opinion the best in slot weapon for a 5-star pick, is Skyward Spine. You get this energy recharge right here, and you also get this 8% crit rate increase, but you also on the side you also get a normal attack speed increase by 12%. So there's that right there. That's a pretty good passive. But there's also a small vacuum blade that can deal 40% of attack as damage in a small AoE. So there's that as well as a little bonus. Now, why I'm not recommending Engulfing Lightning is simply because, in my opinion, this weapon only scales off energy recharge, which is a weapon for Shogun. This weapon was solely made for her because she scales off energy recharge. So this weapon only increases attack of 28% of energy recharge with the base 100%. So it's actually not a good pick for her because, once again, we don't know what her energy is gonna, how much energy she needs for her burst. Now, if I do remember correctly, most support characters, their energy cost for their burst is actually quite low, whether it's in the 40 to 60 range. So it's actually a pretty low energy cost. Most supports do have that, by the way. I know that some other supports might need 80 or 70, so there's that as well. But for me, I kind of am on the side where her burst is actually going to cost on the 40 to 60 side, so this weapon will not be included in a pick for her. Now, if it is going to cost like 70 to 80, then maybe yes, this weapon could be useful, because then you're going to need to build a lot of energy recharge for her because her burst is going to need a lot of energy. Now, the next 2 weapons are pretty much sub DPS weapons in my opinion. So the first one I'm gonna go over is Staff of Homa. Staff of Homa gives that crit damage. So for those who will be dishing out a lot of damage solely from your E, this crit damage is really nice. 66% I believe, if it's at a max 80 level, I guess. But you also get this 20% increase on HP. Now this is also solely for E as well. If you guys do not remember, after seeing the live stream or the program video, they did explain that whenever she's charging up her E, she's granted a shield that has the strength based off of her max HP. So having this little 20% increase is actually really nice for her. But you also get this crit damage, so you don't have to really worry about artifact rolling or anything for crit damage. It's all right here, so that's pretty nice to have. Now this next one is Primordial J Spear. I don't think this is a support weapon because this doesn't really benefit the entire team, and I guess I shouldn't really be saying that because this doesn't benefit the entire team either. But on the bright side, this does look like more of a sub DPS weapon than a support weapon for those who are looking to build her into a sub DPS. So you get this increase of 3.2% for 6 seconds and a max at 7 stacks. So that's a lot of stacks, really, in my opinion. This effect can occur once every 0.3 seconds, and if you're also in the possession of max stats, damage dealt is 12%. So that's really nice to have if you're going to sub DPS her and dishing out damage from her E. Once again, that I just said. Now that is all I have for 5-star picks. I don't have any more. There's not that much 5-star pole arms to pick from. Obviously, this is not a good weapon. This is only a weapon for Zhongli. Now I'm gonna move on to 4 stars. Now the first 4-star that I'm gonna recommend is this weapon right here, Prototype Star Glitter. Again, for support side, you get this energy recharge, but if you use your elemental skill, it increases normal charge attack damage by 8% for 12 seconds, and you get 2 stacks. So that's pretty nice passive right there. And I don't really know what an R5 or the refinement increasement would grant you, because I have not checked, so you guys are going to have to check yourselves on that. Now this next 4-star is Lithic Spear. Now this is a sub DPS weapon. Now I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is actually a bad weapon. No. This weapon actually works really well with Shenhe. Now if you looked at my previous complete build guide video, which was focused on Shenhe, I actually recommended this weapon for her if you're not going to be rolling for her 5-star, because this is actually a best in slot 4-star weapon for Shenhe. If you're going to have a full-on leeway party, which is something I'm probably going to have, because hey, why not? But you know, for every character that hails from leeway, you get this 7% attack increase and 3% crit rate increase. Now this stacks up to 4 times. It's permanent, there's no cooldown, and there's no independent cooldown either. So if you have a full leeway party, you can get up to 28% attack and 12% crit rate increase. So that's pretty nice. Now if you're at R5, I do know the R5 for this, you can get up to 44% attack and 28% crit rate increase. So there's a plus for that. This is actually a really nice weapon. I'm finally seeing it. I don't know why I'm just now seeing it, but after I've, you know, looked up things for Shenhe and researched a little bit for her, and I discovered that this weapon is actually a best in slot 4-slot for her. So there's that weapon. This is actually a good weapon pick for Yunjin as well. So I'm gonna move on to the next one, and this next one is this deathmatch. Now this is a sub DPS side weapon. So if you're gonna sub DPS her, crit rate right there, you get that little crit rate. And if there are 2 more opponents nearby, attack is increased by 16 and defense is increased by 16% as well. And if there are fewer than 2 opponents nearby, attack is increased by 24%. So these 2 will be, I guess, these 2 buffs will be taken away, but you will instead get an attack increase by 24% if there's less than 2 opponents. So there's that. And then this last 4-star weapon that I will be recommending is Black Cliff. Now take this with a grain of salt, I could be wrong about this pick, but I just feel like this will, I guess, be a need if you're going to sub DPS her. So you get this little crit damage, and then after defeating an enemy, your attack is decreased by 12% for 30 seconds. That's actually a lot of time. In my opinion, that's a lot of time, and it has 3 stacks, but each stack is independent of the other stacks. So there's that. Now the 3-star weapon, there's no more I have to recommend for 4 stars. Sorry, I don't recommend the catches. I'm not recommending this weapon. Doesn't seem very helpful in any way of support or DPS side. This 3-star weapon I'm gonna be recommending is White Tassel. Whether you are full on support or sub DPS, if you're just new to the game and whatnot, you don't have a 4-star that I recommended or a 5-star, this White Tassel is just there for you. It increases normal attack damage by 24%. So there's that little extra dish. You know, early game is actually pretty easy. Monsters are actually pretty weak, so you know, just having that extra attack damage is pretty nice. Okay, so before I actually get into discussing about the artifacts, the main stats that you're going to want, or what you're going to be wanting to look for, when you're building a support Yunjin is that you're going to want to go all 3 defense on the circlet, the hourglass, and the goblet as well. But as for me personally, I kind of want to make that circlet a crit rate, because the more crit rate the better. I guess more extra damage can be dished out when supporting your teammates. Now as a sub DPS side, you're going to mainly want to look for crit, defense, and geo damage bonus. So there's that little tip right there. Okay, so the next segment in this video is going over artifacts. Now I will say that either support side or DPS side, there isn't much of a selection when choosing from artifacts. So I'm gonna just get right into it. So the first set that I am going to recommend, which is support side Yunjin, is Archaic Petra, and I will recommend a 4-piece set. And this is why this works well with her kit. So she does a crystallized reaction, like for example Electro, and you get an Electro Charred, you get 35 damage bonus for that particular element for 10 seconds, and you can only get 1 elemental damage that manner. So you can't get 2, you can't get 3, you can only get 1. But say that you have main DPS caching, and you affect the enemy with Electro, so you switch to Yunjin and then you use her E, you get that shard. Caching now has 35% more elemental damage for 10 seconds than what she usually had. So that's a pretty good support reaction right there to help your main DPS dish out more damage. This next set, which I'm going to go ahead and say that is a sub DPS side, is the Husk of Opulent Dreams. This 4-piece is actually very well nice, because you can get 4 stacks that gives 6% defense and 6% geo damage. Now again, I said 4 stacks, but this is a single stack. This is just 1 stack, so imagine that times 4. But every time 6 seconds pass without gaining a curiosity stack, 1 stack is lost. So it's better to have this set as sub DPS Yunjin, because sub DPS Yunjin is obviously out on the field more than support Yunjin. Then I guess recommend Noblesse Obliged, but I'm never going to recommend a 2-piece for any support Yunjins out there. 2-piece is just elemental burst damage, but only a 4-piece is good for support Yunjin, because it does increase your party members' attack by 20% for 12 seconds after using your elemental burst. So that's really nice on the support side of Yunjin. Now I will say, if you are DPSing, sub DPSing Yunjin, then maybe a 2-piece set is good, but at the same time I probably wouldn't even recommend it anyways. You guys can try it if you want. So now I will be recommending some 2-piece sets for both support side and sub DPS side. So to start off with, I would say 2-piece Archaic Petra with 2-piece Husk, 2-piece Archaic Petra with 2-piece Severed Fate. So there's the support right there. And then 2-piece Husk with 2-piece Severed Fate if you need that extra energy recharge. And then you can go 2-piece Husk with, I guess you can do 2-piece Shiminawas or Gladiators if you just want a little extra attack. And then lastly, you can go 2-piece Husk with 2-piece Noblesse Obliged. Now I did say that 2-piece would not go well for the support side of Yunjin, because 2-piece only grants elemental damage bonus, but for the sub DPS side of Yunjin, this can go well with the Husk and stuff. So there's those 2-piece sets and recommendations for both support and sub DPS side of Yunjin. Okay, the next thing I'm going to be going over in this build guide is team comps. I'll be giving you guys an idea, and I actually have 4 team comps to show you guys, and one of them is actually pretty a silly one in my opinion, but it actually does work out in a way. But this first one right here, we have main DPS Raiden Shogun, we have Ayaka and Shingsho, and then the 4th slot, which is an empty slot, that's solely for Yunjin, because she's not out yet. Doesn't release until tomorrow. So why is Ayaka in this team comp? Because Ayaka does go well with Shogun, is actually a pretty good pair in my opinion, but there's also the freeze and the electro charge effect as well to go with this comp. And both these characters, now let me get into this, both of their energies cost is 80 for their burst. Now, why am I saying this? Because Shogun's resolve builds so much faster if she's in a comp with characters that has a burst with high energy cost. So this is why I am including both Xingqiu and Ayaka, because they're both of their bursts cost 80 energy. Now, not only does Yunjin favor off supporting, you know, the fully resonated elemental team, but she also, rather being a fully resonated team, that's, I guess, more on the normal attack side. So this is where I put Shogun as main DPS and not Ayaka, because Ayaka, in my opinion, I use Ayaka to charge attack a lot. I use her to E and I charge attack so much more. But Shogun, I don't charge attack with her a lot. I feel like I would just go ahead and normal attack so much more. Now her E doesn't really have anything to do with a little extra support damage other than that, but she's more on the normal attack side when she's normal attacking and using her burst. Now her burst unleashes, you know, a big burst damage at the start, but then for the next 7 seconds you have your blade that'll deal electro damage as normal attack damage, but is also considered elemental burst damage as well. So there's that reason to why I have main DPS Shogun. But this is it for team comp number 1. This next team comp we'll be going over is a Razor comp. For one, Razor does more normal attack and physical DPS as well. He favors off normal attack more than, you know, spamming his skill and burst. So there's that, and then there's Chongyang that can help him when he's using his burst as well, so that way you get that super conduct, and when he uses E, you know, his claymore will be infused with cryo. And then there's Mona, support Mona, not main DPS Mona, but you also have Mona with, if you have, I guess, 4-piece noblesse and wisp on her, there's that extra burst of damage right there, and then there's the support extra 20% attack damage right there, and then you have Yunjin as the 4th. That way and support everyone else in the team if she needs to. Okay, so this next team comp is actually a sub DPS comp for Yunjin. That if she is wielding a lithtic spear, so that way you can have that max stacks of attack and crit rate from any member who hails from Yue. So you have Keqing, you have Zhangling, and you have Chang'e, and this actually works because Chang'e's E, again, his E can infuse polearm swords and claymores with cryo element. So this actually works with Keqing because her E infuses with electro, but at the same time it can be infused with cryo if Chang'e E during the time she does her E as well. Now make sure you have high energy for support Zhangling, so that way her burst will always be ready, because her burst costs 80. But then you can have the 2-piece Husk and 2-piece Archaic for sub DPS Yunjin, or if you don't want to have a sub DPS Yunjin, or you would just rather have a support, I guess, 5-star polearm, which is our spine on her, and this can be again a whole party from Yue. You can always have the our spine with the 4-piece Archaic Petra, so that way Keqing can get that you know, that plus 35% elemental damage. Okay, this last comp, which is pretty much the best comp, and I was actually going to show this comp on the 3rd one, but I decided that, oh, this is probably going to be a funny thing to showcase, so why not make it the last thing to show. So these first 2 slots, you have Xiao and Zhangling. It's nice to have a Anemo main DPS, so Xiao actually does a lot of damage, especially if you give him his 5-star best in slot weapon, which is Primordial Jade Spear. And then these other 2 slots are for Shenhe and Yunjin, obviously. So what does this make? This makes a team called Polearm Impact, guys. Very, very cool name, I guess, that I came up with myself, because every character on this team One, hails from Leeway, and two, they wield a polearm, and three, all you know, any four unique elements. So you get that all elemental resonance as well. So Genha supporting the entire team, while Yunjin can support main DPS Xiao. So there's that, and I think this is a pretty cool team comp creation that I came up with, because I never would even thought about this if I wasn't even so interested in Shenhai and Yunjin. But yeah, this is pretty much it that I have for team comp. So I don't have any other ideas to come up with. You guys, it's up to you guys to get creative, create your own team comp, and see how Yunjin will work with each and every character that you have. Anyways, that's going to be all for this Yunjin complete build guide. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sitting throughout this entire video and just taking the time to watch this and getting an idea how you can build your Yunjin. If you are new to the channel, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would very much appreciate it. Now again, Genshin 2.4 update releases tomorrow, which is January 4th 2022. If you're not rolling for Shenhe and you still want Yunjin, I would pretty much give you this advice right here: don't roll on the banners, on either of the banners. Why? Because Yunjin is free to claim if you play throughout the Lantern Rite event. Now the Lantern Rite event comes a day after the update releases, so if you do play out throughout the event, you get enough points, you can pick any of the 8 characters that are 4-star for free. And you can only pick one of them. You can't pick any, by the way. You can pick any one of the 4-star. Sorry for this whole mix-up right there. I hope you understood what I just said there. But yeah, get enough points by playing throughout the Lantern Rite event. You can pick any of the 8 4-star leeway characters free. And I would say if you really want Yunjin's right there for free. So there's your primos that you can save right there. And for me, I'm actually going to be rolling for Shenhe, so hopefully Yunjin comes up like frequently as I'm rolling for her, because I feel like I'm gonna be getting bad luck. But yeah, there's that is all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching, sitting through this entire thing, and I will see you all next time.